Hi guys, and welcome to another Taxfix tutorial. I am glad you've tuned in again. Today we'll talk about how you can enter expenses associated with job applications in the app. After you have answered most of the questions in the work category, you will eventually get to this question. Here we assume that you were looking for a job as well as used the internet for work-related purposes. Next, you can enter for which activities you have incurred costs. We choose all three options here. The question of how you have submitted your application is important because there are different deductible flat rates that can be applied to all three answer questions, such as by mail it is €8.5 and by email €2 per application. For our example, we select by email and by mail. After that, you are asked to give more information about the amount of online and offline applications that you have sent out. Now you are asked whether you were reimbursed for any costs related to job interviews. You could have, for example, received a reimbursement from an employer or a job agency. After entering the numbers of interviews you were not reimbursed for, you can move on. The question about where the interview took place is very important because you can also deduct travel expenses you've incurred to get to the job interview. We'll select that you took a car to get to the interview here. If you took a car, you can deduct a distance flat rate of 30 cents per kilometer. After entering a start and finish point, the app will then automatically measure the distance as well as calculate the deductions. The question about the absences is also important since you can deduct additional expenses if, for example, you had a long journey to get to an interview. The same goes for an absence of 8 hours or more from home, including driving time. As always, you can click on the little question mark icon if you're unsure about the question or need more information. After answering whether you received any free meals on the trip, you can move on to the next question. Now you can enter additional expenses which you haven't declared earlier in the app. We'll assume the very common case that you had to pay for parking at the place of the job interview. If you have received any reimbursement for the aforementioned costs, you can enter information about that here. Lastly, you can enter how much you paid for the job application photos that you had taken. And that's it. You have successfully entered all your job application expenses and can move on to the next category. If you have any further questions, take a look at the blog posts on our website or get in touch with our support team.